Hello everyone, welcome to ChemTalk. Today I am starting a new chapter for class 11th, chapter 3, classification of elements and periodicity in properties. This is part 1 of the chapter in which we will study about the modern periodic law and modern form of the periodic table. Topics covered in this part are modern periodic law, explanation about present form of periodic table, merits and limitations of modern periodic table, electronic configuration in periods and in groups, explanation of properties of S, P, D and F block elements, different types of families, nomenclature of elements with atomic number greater than 100, then prediction of period, group and block of a given element. So let us start our chapter with modern periodic law. Now what is modern periodic law? The physical and chemical properties of the elements are the periodic functions of their atomic numbers. Means when we arrange the elements in the increasing order of their atomic numbers, then the properties are repeated after certain interval, and this repetition of property is termed as periodicity. Now, so what is periodicity? The repetition of property after certain interval is called periodicity. Now what is the reason for periodicity? The reason is same number of valence electrons or same valency is the reason for periodicity. Now the next is modern periodic table. In modern periodic table, elements are arranged in increasing order of their atomic numbers. And this table was prepared by scientist Bohr and is based upon the electronic configuration of the elements. Now general characteristics of long form of periodic table. In modern periodic table, there are total 18 vertical columns. Vertical columns are this type of lines. So there are 18 vertical columns. These are called groups. And there are 7 lines. These are called periods. So these are periods and these are groups. Now, so first period is the shortest period in which only 2 elements are present. Second period is short period in which 8 elements are present. Third period is again short period in which 8 elements are present. Fourth and fifth period are long periods in which 18 electrons are present. Sixth period is longest period in which 32 elements are present, and seventh period is incomplete and number of elements are also incomplete here, but the capacity is 32 again for this period also. So you can see that this is the present form of periodic table. Now here vertical lines are called groups. So there are total 18 groups in this modern periodic table. Now this is first group, this is second group, this is third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th group, 12th, 13th group, 14th group, 15th group, 16th group, 17th group and 18th group. Now these are 18 groups, that is 18 vertical columns in the modern periodic table. Now in Mendeleev's periodic table, the group 1 is called 1A, group 2 is called 2A, then group 13 to group 18. They are called 3rd A, 4th A, 5th A, 6th A, 7th A, 8th A. After that, group 3rd is 3rd B, 4th is 4th B, 5th is 5th B, 6th is 6th B, 7th is 7th B. Now 8th, 9th, 10th groups together called 8th B group, then group 11, 1B and group 12, 2B. So these are the vertical columns, that is groups. Now coming to the horizontal lines. Now there are 7 horizontal lines and called period. This is first period, second period, third period, fourth period, fifth period, sixth period and seventh period. Now there are 2 elements you can see in the first period. In second period there are 8 elements. In third period again 8 elements. Now in fourth period there are 18 elements. In fifth period again 18 elements. Then in sixth period there are 32 elements. Now seventh period capacity is though 32 elements, but there are less elements because all the elements are not discovered in this period. Now coming to the blocks. Now first and second group, these are termed as main group elements. Similarly 13th to 18th, they are also known as main group element. That means group 1, 2 and group 13 to 18 are called main group elements, or they are also called typical or represented or normal elements. Why they are called so? Because they are filled in nth shell. Now group 3rd to group 12, they are called d block elements or transition elements. Then because the last electrons enters into the n-1d subshell, electrons are filled in penultimate shell, that is why they are called transition elements. Now, so this is s block 1 and group 2 are called S block, group 13 to group 18 are called P block, and group 3rd to group 12 are called D block. Now, you can see here lanthanum and actinium, two elements are present in group 3rd. After lanthanum, there is a series of 14 elements, and these elements are called lanthanoid. Similarly, after actinium, that is atomic number 89, 90 to 103, 14 elements are present. They are called actinoids. Now, lanthanum starts after lanthanum from cerium, that is 58 atomic number, to lutetium 71 atomic number. And the second transition series start after actinium from thorium 90 atomic number to lawrencium 103 atomic number. Now these lanthanoids and actinoids are present at the bottom of the periodic table in two rows. They are also known as inner transition element or F block element. Here the last electron enters into the n-2 F subshell, that is in anti-penultimate shell. Now what are the merits of long form of periodic table? So the first merit is that it is based on atomic number, which is more fundamental property. Like atomic number changes by 1, 2, 3, 4. So it changes regularly, while atomic mass does not change regularly, on which the Mendele's periodic table was based. Now, it relates the position of an element in the periodic table with its electronic configuration. Means if we know the electronic configuration of an element, then we can easily find out its position, that is in which period and in which group the element is present. Third is that it removes the anomalies which existed in the Mendele's periodic table. You know that what anomalies are present, that like there is problem of isotopes, because isotopes have different mass, but this table is based on atomic number and isotopes are having similar atomic number. So there is no such problem for placing isotopes. Next is it removes the grouping of chemically dissimilar elements and separation of chemically similar elements. Like in Mendele's periodic table, dissimilar elements are separated, like iron is separated from cobalt and nickel, but here there is no such separation. Similar property element are placed in the similar group. The next is representative and transition elements, which are separate in the modern periodic table. In the Mendele's periodic table, these are present in the similar group as group A and B. So this is again the merit of periodic table, that the representative and transition elements are separate. Then also it separates metal and non-metal. There is a zigzag line in the periodic table, and which separate the here metals are present and here non-metals are present, and the elements present on this zigzag line are metalloid, that is semi-metals. Now the next topic is defects in the long form of the periodic table. The first defect is that the position of hydrogen is not certain in the modern periodic table. Hydrogen is placed in group 1 along with the S block elements, but all the group 1 elements are metallic, but hydrogen is not metallic. Similarly, it has similarity with the halogens also. So the placement of hydrogen is the defect of the modern periodic table. Now the second is location of helium. Helium is having configuration 1s2. Now, so according to this configuration, it should be the part of S block element, because the last electron enters into the S subshell, but actually helium is present in the P block. So again the position of helium is a problem for the modern periodic table. Then the third is position of lanthanoid and actinoids. Lanthanoid and actinoid do not have any place in the proper periodic table, and they are placed at the bottom in two rows. So again this is the defect of the modern periodic table. Now electronic configuration in periods. We know that horizontal rows of periodic table are called periods. There are 7 periods in all, and a period consists of a series of elements which are having same valence shell. We know that whenever we move in a period, then the valence shell remains same. For example, in first period the valence shell is first, in second period the valence shell is second, and so on. Now the periods are numbered as first to seventh. In first period the valence shell is first, orbital present in 1s only, and in one orbital there are maximum 2 electrons. So 2 electrons can be accommodated, so the number of elements are also 2. Then the next is second period, valence shell is second, that is orbital filled are 2s and 2p. So there are 3p orbital and 1 s orbital, total 4 orbitals, and 4 orbitals means 4 to the 8 electrons, and hence 8 elements are present in the second period. Now in third period, 3s and 3p orbitals are present, again 4 orbitals, so 4 to the 8 electrons and 8 elements present in the third period. Now in fourth period, 4s, 3d and 4p, 3 types of subshells are present. We know that D is filled in the penultimate shell, and for 3d the electron must be filled in the fourth shell. So it is 4s 2 orbital, D 5 orbital and P 3 orbital. So 5 and 3, 8, 8 and 1, 9, 9 to the 18, so total 18 electrons are present, hence 18 elements are present in the fourth period. Now the next period is fifth. In fifth period, 5s, 4d and 5p subshells are present, hence again total 9 orbitals and 9 to the 18 electrons, and hence 18 elements are present in the fifth period. Now in sixth period, the main shell is 6. The orbitals are 6s, 4f, 5d and 6p. Now total ऑर्बिटल्स आर पहले के आपके 9 थे और 9 में 7 और ऐड कर दीजिए. नाउ द टोटल इज 9 plus 7, that is 16. तो 16 into 2 electrons, that is 32 electrons are present in the sixth period maximum, hence 32 elements can be accommodated in the sixth period. Now in seventh period, again the same 7s, 5f, 6d and 7p orbitals shells are filled. Total 32 electrons can be possible. So 32 elements can be placed here, but it is still incomplete. Now the next is electronic configuration in groups. We know that vertical lines in the periodic table is called groups, and there are 18 groups in the periodic table. Now the elements belonging to the same group are having similar valence shell configuration. That means they are having similar valencies. For example, I am taking the example of first group. Now first group, the first member मैंने हाइड्रोजन को छोड़ दिया है. So the second group member is lithium, after that sodium, then potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. Now you can see their electronic configuration. One shell increases each time. So for lithium, the electronic configuration is 1s2 2s1. For sodium, 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s1. For potassium, 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p6 4s1. Now you can write it because this is the configuration for argon. So you can write it argon, then configuration, last valence shell configuration is 4s1. Similarly, rubidium is having configuration of krypton, after that 5s1. And similarly, cesium, configuration of xenon, that is 54 atomic number and then 6s1. Similarly, for francium, radon, that is 86 atomic number and then 7s1. So we can see that the outermost shell have the 1 electron in the s subshell. There is 2s1, 3s1, 4s1, 5s1, 6s1 and 7s1. So due to this similar valency or similar valence shell electron, they show similar chemical properties or they show periodicity. Now the next is different blocks of the periodic table. Now we divide the complete periodic table in 4 blocks: S, P, D and F. Now S block elements. S block elements, the characteristics of S block elements are as follows. The general electronic configuration is NS122. They have low ionization enthalpy, that means electron is removed very easily because of their bigger size, and they have high electropositive, that means they are having metallic character. They readily lose electron and form cation. Next is these elements act as a strong reducing agent because they readily lose electron, hence they act as reducing agent. Now they form ionic compounds, good conductor of electricity. For one more interesting feature of this block element is they impart color to the flame, different specific color to the flame. Next is they are very reactive, and metallic character and reactivity increases down the group. So you can say that when we move down the group, the metallic character increases. That means if we compare lithium and sodium, so sodium is more metallic than lithium, then potassium is more metallic than sodium. Then they are soft metals and you can see that sodium and potassium can be cut through knife and with low melting and boiling points. Now the next is characteristics of p block element. We know that p block is group 13 to 18 in the periodic table are termed as p block elements. Electronic configuration is ns2 np126. Now metallic character increases down the group. Ionization and enthalpy is higher than that of s block elements, and because their size is less than that of s block elements. They form mostly covalent compounds. Now some elements show more than one oxidation state here. Now for example, phosphorus show +3 and +5 oxidation state. Oxidation character increases from left to right in a period, and reducing character increases from top to bottom in the group in p block. Now they include all the three types of element, that is metal, non-metals and metalloids, but mostly they are non-metals. Now characteristics of d block element. Now from group 3rd to group 12th of the periodic table belongs to d block elements because the last electron enters into the d subshell. They are also known as transition elements. Now general characteristics, general configuration is n-1 d 1 to 10. We know that d orbitals always filled in penultimate shell. So n-1 d 1 to 10 and ns 1 to 2 is the general configuration. Then they are hard, malleable, that is they are converted into thin sheets. They are ductile, that is they drawn into thin wires. Then transition metals have high melting and boiling point. They are true metals actually, and whatever the characteristics of metals are exhibited by these elements. They are good conductor of heat and electricity. They show variable oxidation states. They form both ionic and covalent compounds. Now their compounds are generally colored, like you see copper sulfate is blue in color, nickel is green in color, blue green in color, cobalt are pink in color. So most of them are form colored compounds. Their compounds are generally paramagnetic because they have unpaired electrons in them. Most of the transition metals act as catalysts because they show variable oxidation states. Then they form interstitial compounds and alloys, which we will discuss in the 12th class. Now the next is characteristics of F block elements. Now F block elements are two rows present at the bottom of the periodic table, that is lanthanoids and actinoids. In F block elements, the last electron enters into the n-2f subshell, that is in anti-penultimate shell. General configuration is n-2f 1 to 14, n-1 d 0 to 1 and ns2. They are heavy metals. Their melting points are very high. Their compounds are generally colored. Then they have tendency to form complexes. Most of the elements of actinoid series are radioactive. Then their common oxidation state is +3. They are paramagnetic in nature due to the presence of unpaired electrons. Now the next is types of elements. Now in the periodic table we divide the elements into different families. So first I am taking on the basis of the chemical behavior of the elements. The elements are classified as follows. First is representative elements or normal elements or typical elements. We know that S block and P block are called representative elements because they filled in the main shell, that is nth shell. They belong to group 1 and 2 S block and group 13 to 17, that is P block elements. 18 group is excluded from it because they belongs to noble gas. Then group 16 is generally called chalcogens. You see here group 16, the oxygen family. Oxygen family is called chalcogens. Then group 17 are called halogens family. Chloride, bromide, iodide, fluoride, chloride, bromide, iodide. This family is known as halogens. Now, similarly, the S block elements are called alkali metals. That is group 1 elements. Group 2 elements are called alkaline earth metals. Then group 13 is called boron family because the head member is boron. Group 14 head member is carbon, so it is called carbon family. Group 15 head member is nitrogen, so it is called nitrogen family. Group 16 the head member is oxygen, so it is called oxygen family, or they are also known as chalcogens. Then group 17 is halogen family. Then group 18 belongs to noble gases or inert gases. Now coming to group 3 to group 12. Group 3 to group 12 belongs to d block element and they are called transition elements, and electrons are filled in n-1 d subshell. Similarly, the bottom two lines are F block elements. They are also known as inert transition elements. First series is called lanthanoid because it comes after lanthanum, and the second series is called actinoid because it starts after actinium. Next is transition elements. D block elements, I already told you that it is a transition element from 3 to I explained you earlier. Now on the basis of physical properties of elements, elements are classified into metals, non-metals and metalloids. So you can see here a zigzag line in the periodic table. This is the zigzag line. This is the zigzag line which separate this. These are non-metals. Green colored are non-metal. Then this blue colored are metals, and the elements present on this zigzag line are called metalloid. Now most of the elements of the periodic table, you can see that they are metals. Some are non-metals and very few are metalloids. Examples of metalloids are silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, etc. Now the next topic is nomenclature of elements with atomic number more than 100. IUPAC recommended a system of naming of new elements until their official names are approved, and so the names are derived directly from the atomic numbers, and some abbreviations are used for them. There are some root words for elements for the number 0, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Some word root. These are the word roots and are given for them, and after the word root we put the suffix em. Now for 0 we use the word root nil and abbreviation is n. Then for 1 we use un, abbreviation is u. The first letter of the name, root name, is abbreviation. Then for second it is bi, abbreviation is b. For 3 it is tri, abbreviation is t. For 4 it is quad, abbreviation is q. For 5 it is pent, abbreviation is p. For 6 it is hex, abbreviation is h. For 7 it is sept. Now we are not taking hept here because abbreviation for hex is also h. If we give it name hept, then its abbreviation is also h. So it cannot be possible like this. So we name it sept. Remember this thing. So the abbreviation is s. Then for 8, oct is the word root, abbreviation is o. And for 9, the word root is ENN in, and the abbreviation is e. So you should know these root words for digit 0 to 9, and after placing this suffix ium is used. So I am taking some examples on the next slide. Now look here, this is first 101. For 1 we use the root un, for 0 we use the root nil, and for 1 again we use the un. So un, nil, un, and then we use the suffix em. Un, nil, un, niyam. Now un, u, so the first letter of symbol is u. Then nil ka n, this is the second letter n. And then again un, so the letter is u. So u is the symbol. Then 102 is un, nil, bium. 103 is un, nil, trium. 104 is un, nil, quadium, unq. 105 un, nil, pentium, unp. Then 106 is un, nil, hexium, unh. 107 is un, nil, septium, uns. 108 is un, nil, octium, uno. Then 109 is un, nil, innium, because 9, for 9 word root ENN is used and the symbol is une. For 110 un, nilium, and un is the symbol. Similarly we give the names for the other elements also. Now from 100 to 112 the official names are also given by the name different scientists. For example, 101 is called Mendelevium and the symbol given is MD. 102 is Nobelium, NO. Laurentium, LR. 104 is Rutherfordium, RF. 105 is Dubnium, DB. Then 106 is Seaborgium, SG. Then 107 is Borium, BH. Then 108 is Hafnium, HS. 109 is Meitnerium, MT. 110 is Dermastidium, DS. Then 111 is Röntgenium, RG. 112 is Copernicium, that is CN. Now the next and very important topic is prediction of period, group and block of the element with the help of its electronic configuration. So the first step is you should write the electronic configuration of that element. Now when you write the electronic configuration, first you find out the period. How we find out the period of an element? The principal quantum number of the valence shell gives you the period in which the element is present. For example, your valence shell configuration is 5s2 3d5. So the principal quantum number is 5. So your period is 5th. Now the second step is you have to find out the block. Now what is the block? The subshell in which the last electron enters gives you the block of that element. For example, in this case, the last electron enters into D, so the block of the element is D. Now, thirdly, to find out the group, first we should know the block of the element. Once you know the block, suppose the block is S, then the group number is equal to the number of ns electron. Suppose valence electron is 5s1. So the group is 1, and if it is 5s2, then the group is second. Only two groups are there in S block element. Now for P block elements, whatever the number of NP electron, that is the valence shell P electron, just add 12 in them. For example, your outermost shell is P1, so 1 plus 12, 13, P2, 2 plus 12, 14, and so on. For D block elements, once you find out that the group block is D, then just count the number of n-1 d electron and add 2 in it. For example, if the n-1 d electron is 1, then 1 plus 2 group is third. If d5 is there, then 5 plus 2 group is 7. If 10 is there, then 10 plus 2 the group is 12. Now once you find out that the block is F, then all the F block elements belongs to third group only. Now I am taking some example so that this concept will be more clear to you. For example, predict the block, group and period of the following elements: 38, 77, 50 and 95 atomic number. Now first of all, we should know that how to write the electronic configuration easily with the help of inert gases. So for this, first you should know inert gases in the series, that is helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. So you learned this series as it is. Then helium atomic number is 2. When you add 8 to it, then the next neon का आपका atomic number आ जाएगा. Neon में आप 8 plus करोगे, 18 is the atomic number of argon. Then you add 18 again, then it is the atomic number of krypton, 36. Add 18 again, it gives you the atomic number of xenon, that is 54. Add 32, it gives you the atomic number of radon, that is 86. अगर आप इसमें 32 और प्लस कर दोगे, then it will be the next element, that is the more than 100 वाला आ जाएगा आपका. So helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, they belongs to period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 of the periodic table, and their atomic number is 2, 10, 18, 36, 54, 86. You should learn this first. Now I am taking first example, that is atomic number 38. Now for 38, the nearest noble gas is krypton, 36. So first we write down the configuration of krypton, that is Kr 36. After that, 38 minus 36, how many electrons are left? 2. So we have to fill 2 electron. Now krypton belongs to fourth period, so the next period will be 5. So 2 electron में 5s2 is the configuration. Now again, because the valence shell is fifth, so the period is fifth. This is the first thing. Now because the last electron enters into S subshell, so the block is S. Now we know that for S1 the group is 1, and for S2 the group is 2. Here the S2 configuration is there, so our group is 2. So the position of element with atomic number 38 is fifth period, S block and second group. Now the second is 77. Now the nearest noble gas is 54. Look here, nearest noble gas आप पहले वाली लेंगे, बाद वाली नहीं लेंगे. तो 77 से नीचे वाला आपका 54 है, तो you just write down the atomic number of krypton, that is 54, configuration of krypton. After that, 77 minus 54, that is the atomic number of krypton, you have to fill 23 electrons. Now xenon belongs to fifth period. After fifth, sixth period starts from 6s2. Then 4f, 6x के बाद आपका एनर्जी आती है 4f की अकॉर्डिंग टू ऑब्बो प्रिंसिपल. 4f में 14 इलेक्ट्रॉन जाएंगे, 14 plus 2 16. Now 7 electrons are still left, so in 5d 7 electrons are there. So you can see that this is the valence shell. In valence shell the n is 6, so the period is 6th. Now the last electron enters into the d subshell, so the block is d. Then in D there are 7 electrons. So for D blocks, 7 plus 2, that is 9. So the group is 9th. Now the next is Z is equal to 50. Now the nearest noble gas is krypton, that is 36. So write 50 minus 36, 14 electrons you have to fill. Krypton belongs to fourth period again. So the next period is 5. So 5s2, 4d10 and 5p2 is the configuration. Now valence shell में n is 5, so period is fifth. Now The last electron enters into the p subshell, so the block is p. Now for p block, the number of np electron plus 12. So the number of np electron is 2. So 2 plus 12 is 14. So 14 is the group number of this element. Now the next is 95. Now for 95, the nearest noble gas is radon, that is 86. So write the electronic configuration of radon. After that, 95 minus 86, that is 9. So you have to fill the 9 electrons. Now radon belongs to 6 periods, so you have to fill the electrons in the 7th period. So after radon configuration, 7s2 and 4f7 is the configuration. Now the n is s7, so the period is 7th. Last electron enters into the F subshell, so the block is F. Now we know that all the F block elements belongs to group 3, so the group of this element is 3. So the period is 5th, block is F and the group is 3. Hope you liked the video. If you find it useful, please hit the like button and also subscribe my channel for the upcoming videos. Thank you.